Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Important News Now. Now broadcasting to you in crisp, high definition and crystal clear audio. This is new for us because the whole time my old phone was garbage, and apparently our audio was too. But from now on, it's going to be like this, so you guys don't have to worry about much. I mean, of course, besides the news in general, it's pure garbage. But you know how it goes. This is America. Now, before we dive into the chaos tonight, I do want to address one thing. Yes, I am wearing a Halloween costume. And yes, I am a clown. That's all I have to say. We're always clowning over here. You know how we do it. But tonight's new episode isn't just about new phones and questionable fashion decisions. No. Tonight, we have some vintage episodes for you. And by vintage, I mean, of course, from my old phone. So they're not going to sound or look near as good as this, probably. But just because of that, I do have one special Halloween story just for you guys that I'm going to do right off the cuff after I show you these three stories. And yeah, I have it set up for commercials, and I'm not going to lie, with this week being Halloween, I haven't had time to really make any commercials. So, if you have anyone out there that wants to maybe be a sponsor or have advertising space, I'm just saying. We're going to do it probably for free, but if you want your business promoted, just let me know. I can do that for you. And in the spooky spirit of resurrection, I'm bringing you three stories from an old dead phone that will hopefully make your evening just a little bit spookier. In today's top story, a self-declared group of Facebook crusaders have officially declared war on sarcasm. As AI-generated videos flood timelines, from baby eagle saves elderly man from burning building to woman gives birth to 17-pound cat live on Twitch, some users have chosen humor to cope. But a growing movement calling themselves Holy Firewall says those jokesters aren't just making jokes. They're actual demons sent by Satan to corrupt your algorithm. Yes, actual demons. Because apparently the devil stopped tempting souls and started commenting things like, "I was the cameraman," instead. According to Holy Firewall co-founder Brent Dougal, 67 years old and one HDMI cable away from a full possession, these videos are, quote, signs of divine wonder. He warns that laughing emojis may actually be portals for pixel demons to come through and taunt your everyday dreams. That's right, folks. If you've ever laughed at a video of Shrek baptizing Jesus in 4K, congratulations. You probably opened a gate to hell. Victims of Holy Firewall's online crusade say that they were just making light of obviously fake clips. One woman said that she left a joke on a video of a bear driving a school bus, only to be called a digital Jezebel and tagged in a post by a Facebook pastor named Pastor Gary 2.0. Social media experts say that this is what happens when you combine AI confusion, religious panic, and too much time between bingo nights. At press time, members of Holy Firewall were reportedly mass reporting an AI video of Jesus playing basketball against SpongeBob, calling it a blasphemous sorcery and a clear attack on divine athleticism. Personally, I think that they were just upset because it showed Jesus getting fouled during the fourth quarter. And from one group worshiping bad ideas to another, our next story takes us deep into Texas, where one prison warden is proving that sometimes inspiration strikes from the worst possible source, as well as position. We'll be right back. In Huntsville, Texas, prison warden Carl Henshaw reportedly watched The Human Centipede 3 for the first time this week, and instead of calling a therapist, he instead called state legislature. Henshaw says that he was struck with inspiration, claiming that the film offered some intriguing logistical efficiencies for the Texas correctional system. Quote, "Now look, I ain't saying everyone needs to be part of the centipede," he explained. "But you can't tell me this wouldn't solve a few problems, especially with them ones that get seconds every meal. The state doesn't have unlimited mashed potatoes." He apparently started taking notes halfway through the movie, including drawing a diagram labeled Meal Distribution 2.0, which featured several stick figures and what looked like a suspiciously happy digestive system. Hinshaw insists that this is all a purely theoretical exercise in correctional streamlining, but he has already submitted something called an alternative meal distribution proposal to state officials. Sources say that he was last seen calling the legislature to ask how much money Texas could save annually on forks. Officials say that they'll review the proposal carefully, which in government terms means they've already lost it behind the fax machine. Still, experts warn that this might not be the first time a Texas official has confused innovation with felony. And honestly, if the human centipede is what finally inspires government efficiency, I'm afraid to see what the IRS does after watching Saw 2. And finally tonight, we leave the world of online crusades and prison reforms to visit a quieter battlefield, the front yard, where one man's yard sale has proven that one thing more powerful than low prices is crippling emotional manipulation. In Bridger, Montana, local man John Bridger, 58, long-lost third cousin of legendary mountain man Jim Bridger, has found a new way to carry on the family tradition of trapping. Only it's with emotional trapping. Witnesses say Bridger's yard was a goldmine of second-hand treasures. Tools, antiques, vinyl records, even what appeared to be a lightly used coffin. But the real hook? Every item came with a tragic backstory. One shopper said he had came for a coffee table and left with a lifetime of regret after hearing about John's wife's breast cancer, his dog's diabetes, and how his father's ghost still haunts the shed. Another visitor said he had found an old Nintendo for $10, but after Bridger mentioned he used to play it with his son before the accident, the man handed him a 20 and said, "Go ahead, keep the change." Things then escalated when Bridger gestured to an old coffin in the backyard and said, "You can say hi to Dad if you want, he's right over there." But turns out, his dad is very much alive, and he was spotted later that day at the local Maverick, buying gas and muttering to our reporter, "John's doing another one of his sympathy sales, isn't he?" When confronted, John admitted that the whole thing was mostly marketing. Quote, "People don't want to buy your junk. Just tell them you're dying and suddenly everyone wants to help. It's called emotional capitalism." A bold business tragedy, weaponized pity. Because nothing says support local like buying a chipped angel statue purely out of guilt. At press time, John was reportedly advertising another sale under the alias Terminal Treasures. The flyer reads, "Everything must go, including me." And that's all for tonight's broadcast. From demon emojis to prison innovation and the dark frontier of emotional yard sales. It's comforting to know that America is still finding new ways to out-weird itself every single day. I'm Great White, and this has been Important News Now, reminding you that if you see an AI video of Jesus dunking on Shrek, make sure you laugh responsibly. Good night, everybody. Well, what do you think about that, guys? They were pretty good stories, but overall, I think this next one might be your favorite story of the night. Our top story tonight: a father out of Cedar Falls, Iowa, is redefining what parental involvement truly means after finding drugs in his children's Halloween candy and making a decision that no other parent has ever thought of doing, sending them back. The only way I could think of describing it is entrepreneurially concerning. According to local reports, Father Daryl Phipps had found a bag of MDMA tucked inside his 7-year-old's candy bucket after attending a local trunk or treat event. But rather than calling authorities, Phipps allegedly muttered, "Jackpot," and then grabbed his keys and sped to the nearest Costco, returning minutes later with a brand new plan and 2 brand new costumes. Witnesses say that the Phipps children had returned to the same few trunks multiple times during that evening, each time with a slightly varied and different costume. At one point, I swear they were just wearing inside-out Power Ranger costumes with fake mustaches glued on, said one witness. who had described the scheme as basically Farmville with a few more felonies added. Sources close to the investigation claim that Phipps even drafted a cost efficiency spreadsheet, claiming that it was even cheaper to buy multiple costumes than street value MDMA. When questioned, he told reporters, "You think I'm going to go spend $150 on that stuff when I could just run and go buy a $12 Ninja Turtle costume and let Destiny decide what happens?" The plan finally fell apart when one of the children returned to a trunk with literally a trash bag and googly eyes taped on it and said, "Trunk or treat, we're poor." Authorities quickly intervened, charging Phipps with child endangerment, possession with the intent to distribute, and perhaps most seriously, abusing the spirit of Halloween. Costco has since released a statement saying that their costume sales in that area have suspiciously skyrocketed, proving that once again, crime does not pay, but it might help the Q4 sales. And there you have it, proving once again that America's greatest resource isn't oil or corn or even common sense. It's whatever's left in the candy bucket and in the aisles at Costco. This has been Important News Now, reminding you that whatever you do find in your candy buckets, it's still safer than what's probably on your news feed. I'm Great White, signing off, spooky and spectacularly. Happy Halloween, and remember, if you do find drugs in their candy, you didn't find it. Or you did, and it was Daryl's fault. Have a good night.